All right. Look at that. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to whoever it is in the world you are streaming here on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, you name it. You have to forgive me. Just got off the reason why I'm 15 minutes late. Just got off the tennis court and I had to take a quick shower because we ran a couple minutes beyond my planned, and I am full Wolverine getting out of the shower. Oh my god! But it's one of those sessions where I look like Marv from Home Alone after he gets electrocuted. One of those sessions that this is part of getting old, people. Is I have to now take 2 days off between tennis sessions because of the scar tissue that just naturally builds up in my knees, my cartilage. I used to play Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I tried to go out there. Oh my God, the first 10 to 15 minutes planting on that left leg, it hurt so much as I was trying to tear through the scar tissue eventually it's fine, but I got to take at least 2 days off in between now. So now my tennis is going to be limited to Monday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday. Very unfortunate things happen to your body once you get past 35, slowly but surely. You always hear it from your parents. It's certainly the truth. Appreciate youth is wasted on the young. What's happening? Talk to me, people. First day of the off season. What's up, Jake? What's up, Andrew? Indeed. Korea Pistons. Are you the Korea Pistons fan? The one that always goes viral? Are you the one? Appreciate you, Nick. The vid. How many of you did you guys watch? Do you have feedback on the season recap? It's now, how many years have I been doing this? 2020, 2021. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 24, 25. Okay, so this is year number 5, I think. This one was 25 minutes, and I promise I had to leave 5 more minutes of footage on the cutting room floor because of all the shit that happened this season. Oh my God. Like, you go back and you watch the video and you remember like the Ja Morant Instagram videos that made ABC World News Tonight. Bronny James and LeBron, father-son debut, the Dwayne Wade statue, the Luka trade, the Mike Brown firing, Taylor Jenkins firing, Michael Malone firing, the buzzer beater in Chicago, one of the greatest basketball games I have ever witnessed at any level, any circumstance, including the finals, the playoffs. It was a regular season game between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Denver Nuggets, late at night, TNT, double overtime, one of the best games of hoops ever played. That happened this year. All of the playoffs with the buzzer beaters and Tyrese Halliburton, Aaron Gordon. So much shit happened. And then the finals, all the news breaking during the finals, the Desmond Bane trade, the Buss family selling the Lakers, Kevin Durant trade in the middle of all these major events, and NBA fucking delivered this year. What an entertaining season from start to finish, in the playoffs in totality from night 1 through June 23rd, 22nd. Non-stop drama. When the basketball is good, it's funny how every other little thing falls into place, doesn't it? You don't have to worry about the game presentation lacking, the discourse about load management and defense is not trying. We didn't hear any of that bullshit in the playoffs, did we? The only conversation that detractors are having now is about the health of these players in the age of pace and space. And why is everyone suffering an Achilles tear? Because next season, no Tatum, no Dame, no Tyrese Halliburton. Kyrie will be out for a while. The East is wide open. Oh, my God. The Eastern Conference is light. But I guess we have to have a conversation. Are they going to figure out something about Achilles injuries the same way Are they going to figure out something about Achilles injuries the same way that football figured out like CTE? Like there's some soft tissue thing going on, and now you understand why these franchises are load managing their stars throughout the regular season campaign because of what's going to be required from them if you want to win the title. Yeah. That was good hoop. It was good hoop. And I come out of it feeling still a little weird about the Halliburton thing. So if those of you that have been listening to the Sirius XM show, I've been blessed with the guests, or my co-stars, co-hosts, co-hosts, whether it's Sam Mitchell, Antonio Daniels, Ryan McDonough, these former players, coaches, and or executives have told me continuously, like, so that game 5 where Halliburton played almost 10 game minutes, when it was very clear he was on the verge of elevating the severity of that injury from his calf being stressed to his calf being strained. And then when it's strained, it's like, danger, danger, Will Robinson. And he goes out there and the catastrophe happens. And I'm still kind of standing on my business in that I don't like how NBA players have to embody this bravery to the point that they know they're about to suffer a major injury. Because if you take precautionary measure, knowing it's the NBA Finals, your teammates, their fans, NBA Twitter, the media will destroy you for being soft. You'll get that same reputation that Ben Simmons has. So it's either that, or you go out there, you play hurt, and you blow your Achilles, and at least everyone knows you as like, oh, at least he tried. At least he tried to play through it. I just don't like that. It just rubs me the wrong way. So then if the player can't raise their hand, because Halliburton in game 5 was just taken out of the equation completely by Lou Dort. He was immobile. He might as well have been a gargoyle. And if that's the case, my suggestion was like, hey, Halliburton, during the timeout, maybe you suggest, Coach, I don't have it tonight. I need you to put in TJ McConnell, who's killing it. But because players can't do that, the teammates might hear it, the coaches might think they're soft, whatever. He kept going out there. And then it's on Carlisle. His job is to assess the situation and say, Tyrese, I'm going to take you out because I don't think you can provide injured what some of these guys, whether it's Benedict Mathurin or Tyrese Halliburton on the bench, can do. So we're going to sit you down and get you right for game 6. That didn't happen. The injury got worse. It was still bad in game 6. And because it was a blowout, he didn't have to play in the 4th. And then that shit happens in game 7. And now he's going to be out until New Year's Day 2027. Damian Lillard came back from his blood clot, goes straight. He's not on a minutes restriction. And then he blows out his Achilles too because of the demand that was put on that injury. It's part of the game. It sucks. The only thing I don't like about this is the players' like instinct to be so brave that it will cost you, so brave for the short term that it will cost you your long-term health or your health in the long run. Just doesn't sit well with me at all. That's all I got. All right. Yes, Helwick says we're all depressed right now. Worst ending to a season ever. Oh, Korea Pistons fan. You're the actual Korean Pistons fan. How does it feel to be one of NBA Twitter's favorite characters? Over under this Oklahoma City Thunder team winning 2.5 championships together in the next 5 years? They're heavy favorites next year at ProfitX. Do they have those markets up? Let's see. Give me a second. Doesn't look like they have next year up. They have NFL futures, but when ProfitX does post, they have draft stuff up. Is it under fund markets? Okay. Oh, eventually they'll put up odds for next year. Oklahoma City is like, oh, massive. Can you guys guess who number 2 tied it the second best overall odds to win the championship next year are? And I'll give you a little bit of a hint. The Eastern Conference is very soft. Very soft. So no Tatum next year, no Halliburton, no Dame. The Celtics might be stripping down for parts. The Pacers are without their franchise cornerstone and their highest paid player. Damian Lillard is going to be out. He's the team's highest player, right alongside Giannis, highest paid player. The Bucks could be moving Giannis. So you have New York, Cleveland, Detroit, Philly. Boy, is the seat hot in New York and Philly. For whoever that coach gets hired, you will instantly have finals expectations in New York, considering how light that Eastern Conference is this year. And then Philly's going to have between the middle of April all the way through October off to get their guys right. And they are all in. The answer is the Knicks and the Cavs are both tied with the second best overall odds to win the championship next year. I'm going to need your guys. You see what's on the screen right now, by the way? Number 2, we're going to have to do, I need your help so I can book a bet for the draft on Wednesday, because I just don't know enough about these players. I'm hoping that I can source a bet from the chat that I can make based on, if you see anything that interests you, I'll keep scrolling around the page. Who's going to be the number 2 overall pick? How about draft positions? Stuff like that. Take a look at this as I continue to read your comments. Oh, hey, MCC says, watched all 25 minutes of Bartabum. The video was so good. Hey, appreciate the positive feedback. It's unfortunate that no one really uses Twitter anymore, because these videos, back when I started doing them and everyone was still on the app, these videos would do like gazillions of views, gazillions. And now that all the audience is so fractured across different platforms and stuff, it just doesn't hit the same unless you're a WOB follower. It doesn't reach the same audiences as much anymore. Maybe I need to put it on YouTube or something. Yeah, so that video took me, this was my, see, 2 now on to 3 says, why is Wob looking like Marv? Because I just got out of the shower and I'm full Wobverine at the moment. Just got out of the shower after playing tennis. So that video, need a director's cut. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Maybe during the summer, we'll watch it back together. To probably do it during this stream too. Yeah, we can do that. What was it? Oh, that video. Okay, so my entire weekend was the Game 7 hype video with the NBA on NBC. Boy, did I go in on the nostalgia there. I am a nostalgia merchant. Getting us ready for Game 7 with the Bob Costas. That's from the, most of you weren't alive, but before the Knicks and the Rockets played in 1994, that was the intro that I remixed, and I put in all the moments since that game. And then the Game 7 of the 2025 finals was the majority of the end. Okay, so from after we got done with the show on Friday, I spent Friday, Saturday, and then late last night, Sunday, doing the hype video, and then downloading, cutting the clips, putting them all together, matching the audio levels of about 250 different YouTube videos. No, it came out to, it came out to 196 YouTube videos. So cutting them, and then once you're done downloading and cutting, then you have to tell a story. You got to put them together. Did you notice how after the Draymond part of the video, or I don't want to hear any emotion from you, or I listen to your podcast, I don't want to hear any emotion today. And then I went with all of the fights and the moments where the players were altercations and stuff, or bitching to the referees. There's little chapters throughout. If you pay attention, you can tell which chapter it is. the off the court news, the Woj retiring. There's another big one. But yeah, those were, I put in about 4 to 5 total 8-hour sessions. 8 hours, so 40 hours is what it takes usually to finalize that season recap video. A lot of work, man. It's a lot. And throughout the season, every time something happens, I'm keeping a list of all the plays that are going to be nominees to be included in the video. So you have to be paying attention every game. You don't want to miss something, especially like a funny league pass with the crazy baby that in New Orleans. I like to include those little things as game winner, league pass, something, news events, game winner, big shot, big game, big post game quote, fight. There's a method to the madness of how you piece it all together so it flows. You don't just want all game-winning plays, then it's not a real season recap. There's so much that happens off the court in the NBA as it does on that you want to balance it perfectly. Coach Mike says, "Hey, Bob, walking now, gym later. Hope you're going to relax now that the NBA season is over. When's the World War II? I'm getting to the point of my career where I can pivot to police chasing and World War II analysis full time. We'll see. I don't have any official plans yet for next season. I have an idea. I've certainly made it very public. I'd like to be involved with the NBC broadcast because they are going to be heavy in the nostalgia, and I would like to be one of the voices in that writer's room, in that creative room. So I'm going to be maneuvering myself starting at Summer League, trying to get in front of some of these executives because they haven't hired really anyone yet besides their studio and game talent. So trying to get in there is a initiative of mine. But it's nice that the season is over. I can watch baseball in peace now, and I can make my spaghetti with meat sauce, not having to keep an eye on 4 different league pass games at once. Because even when they're in commercial, that's sometimes when the funny shit happens. So just always being distracted in the way that a nurse or a doctor's on call. Like with the NBA, you're always on call when there's games being played. I can deal with the free agency stuff. That isn't as much of a burden for me anymore. Ndala says, "Hey Rob, Tyrese was off to a hot start, so I see a lot of people saying Halliburton was going to give OKC 45. Is it reasonable to say OKC definitely would have adjusted to slow him down?" Yeah, like Halliburton was making shots early. He was making shots, but you can't, especially with his injury, you can't expect him to sustain all of that. OKC would have won that game eventually. Am I going to release a B-roll version? No. So the file was like 3 gigs. 3 gigs by the time I got done rendering it, and it took me like 2 hours to upload to Twitter last night. So I am done with this season. Now, there's still a shit ton to look forward to. We have a parade tomorrow. We have the draft on Wednesday. Then there's going to be obviously trades before, during, and after the draft. There's going to be the free agency moratorium. There's going to be free agency. Then there's Summer League. So I'm not done creating content until I get on my plane to Japan on July 16th. So I'm still working for like the next little less than a month. So the season's definitely not over for some of us. Steve says, it honestly felt like it was one of the greatest seasons ever until last night. Well, it wasn't that it was unfulfilling. It was just disappointing more than unfulfilling. Nobody wanted to see it end like that. Nobody. Who did the Jazz take at 5? Please, well, I don't know. I don't know what Ryan's up to over there. I'm just like taunting him when we play golf. I don't ask about the day-to-day operations of one of his businesses. If sometimes he asks for my input, just like what I think. Like we're on the green putting, and I'll tell him, and then just move on to the next topic. But I think he's just trying to create casual conversation, and I feel like one of the only people, considering his status as a NBA governor, billionaire with all of these successful companies, he's surrounded by a lot of yes men. You are not going to get. I am not going to be a yes man. Even my friends from home, we get along so well because we know how to like make fun of each other without it being hurtful, right? So anytime he like says or does something, and I'm like, that's bullshit. And there's no one else would dare tell him, that's a subordinate. They would just be like, yes, so funny, sir. And I'm like, oh my God, look at these people you got around you just making fun of him. I think he likes that. KD didn't play for a month. He returned and tore his. Yeah. I was disappointed we didn't get to hear from Bob Myers during the halftime. I shouldn't be surprised considering what NBA Countdown has become, but Bob Myers, of all people, should be able to speak on the Halliburton Achilles tear in almost an identical situation to Kevin Durant in Toronto that night. But we didn't hear from him. And inside the NBA is coming in. People are going to be disappointed, I think. I don't know if I should say it. I know how many, because I don't know if this is public information. I know how many appearances inside the NBA is going to be making next year, and it's not a lot. It is not a lot. And you're not going to be seeing them as much as you think you are, unless their contract changes between now and then, which it could. But as of this moment, you will not be seeing inside the NBA at the same rate. They will still be there, I think. You never know with the mouse, man. But I know their contract details, and there are a number of appearances on ESPN or ABC. It's not going to be. I don't know what's going to happen with Scott Van Pelt's postgame show too. Like, he does really good work, and people are going to want to see that. So we'll see. Oh, there's Korea Pistons fan. Just really happy our Pistons are doing great. Appreciate. The Pistons are one of the teams that's in like pole position to go for it this year. If you're in the East, you are alive. Every team in the East should feel like, even the crappy ones, there's nobody there that scares you. The West is an arms race, but with Boston, Milwaukee, and Indiana now going to take a step back because of major injuries. Detroit, New York, Cleveland, Philly, Orlando. One of those 5 teams is going to be representing the Eastern Conference in the finals next year. Better believe that. Sand says, I miss the Facu Campazzo thread. So do I. Some great threads. My Budenholzer thread, Campazzo thread. I was thinking about this last night. So what's the Twitter equivalent of BCAD, before Christ, after death? I think it's BC, also on Twitter, before Crying Jordan and after. It's BC and AC. Before Crying Jordan, after Crying Jordan. Like, were you born in BC or AC? Hulk says, WOB equals edit God. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. I know people that don't know me, haven't been around for a while. They probably think I'm just some guy that records his television screen with his phone, and they don't want to know anything more than that. But the amount of time I have put into making videos for the last decade and a half, you don't see the process, the editing process necessary sometimes to put together a 90-second video, whether it's a meme or like the WOB investigations take so long. Those breakdowns take so long. I know there's people doing them in other sports too. It takes me like, if I've focused on a WOB investigation that's going to be 7 to 8 minutes long, it takes like 5 hours of not procrastinating, downloading the footage. Then I got to write the script. Then you got to record it. Then you got to cut it. Then you got to add the graphics. Then you got to add the lighting. And it's just, and you produce a video for the next day and people see it and then they enjoy it or they consume it, but they don't ever think about it. I wonder how long this video took. That shit takes forever, especially when you're a one-man shop like myself, watching all the damn games 7 hours a night, trying to comment on them, get ready for a radio show the next day. Oh, God. It's a lot of work, man. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. If I can, Trend Centers asking in the chat, if I could craft my dream commentator post-game crew, who would it be? Okay. I'll do this with you. Do I go with Breen or Harlan? Iron Eagle. I'll go Breen. Man, I think the answer is just Breen, Van Gundy, and Mark Jackson. I want to be a good teammate and say Antonio Daniels because I like him so much. I think it's, for me, I really do think it's Breen, Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, and Cassidy. Cassidy on the sidelines. Doris, I got to find a way to get Doris involved too. All-time great, and has become a close personal friend. So those 5. Yeah, you know I'm a nostalgia merchant. Dream commentator. Oh, and then post-game crew. Inside the NBA. Yeah, inside the NBA. I think if it's not broken, you don't fix it. I know you had ideas for what this was going to be like, but I think this answer's that simple for me. Get Cass involved with Breen and Breen, Van Gundy, and Jack. God, there's so many. There's Doris, Cassidy, Taylor Rooks. I wish you guys knew how many times when she was coming up at SNY, how many times I was trying to, like, this girl is going to be an absolute star. And I'm like, I tried to get her to be a co-host on so many different shows. And we kept running into, whether it was her agent or representation at, I know her agent well. Her agent was my neighbor in New York. And when she was with Turner, they were just very protective of letting her do stuff outside the network. But I'm like, God, I got to find a way to do a show with this girl. She's got like 2 years before she's on a rocket ship, and she probably forgets who I am, and that's where she's at now. But she's been a close friend as well for a long time, and I'm glad to see her success. Taylor, if you're ever watching this, since your first show, I've been trying to link up with her and collab. It just never worked out. Do I have any baseball bets? Ooh, on ProfitX tonight. As a matter of fact, I do. I'll bet them. I'll do them for you real quick here. Do you guys have any recommendations for to be drafted in the top 5? Is Trey Johnson? Should I be betting minus 200? Con Knuppel? Should I be betting minus 200? I need someone who understands draft stuff, because that is not me. I did take this over right here. Yankees, Reds. 10.5. I have 10. Wait a second. Look at this. You see this? You see this shit? Wait, over 10.5 is plus 105, and 10 is minus 1. Okay, that makes sense. Here you go. We're going on the over between the Yankees and the Reds. Okay, we're booked. Good talk. Shout out to ProfitX. Let me go back to that draft screen before. NBA draft. I need help with. I'll put it on the screen and. Jeez. All wealthy people are surrounded by yes men. That is correct. Oh, sorry, I should have answered that. Sam, over under two more Thunder championships in the next 4 years. I'll go. I do think they repeat, so I'll go over. Oh gosh, that third one's going to be the tough one. That third one. Like, what happens if Shea gets injured at some point? So much basketball to be played. I'll go. Gosh, I think that's a push. I think it's going to be a push. You said two more. Two more. So that's three total. I'll go. Oh, that's tough. Can they get to in the next? Can they get 3 in 5 years? No, I'm gonna go no. I think San Antonio at some point is gonna get Giannis, and then they're gonna be the favorites in the West. No, I'll go no, even though OKC is set up perfectly. Do I want Tibbs back in the booth? It was funny on. He was so hilariously awkward in the studio. Before Wobtober, after Wobtober. Can you imagine if I did that today? It would age as poorly as like at The Office debuted on NBC. That was just a different time. You could put things on the internet like people's reading comprehension in 2025, especially on social media. I could say anything. Like one tweet in particular last night. I tweeted a metaphor after Halliburton went down because I didn't want to be one of those, oh my God, like crying emoji. And then everyone's like, oh, fuck. Like your whole timeline is just like, damn, 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 damn. If you're going to say something, be original. Don't just grief farm. So my metaphor was I'm sitting at a Michelin restaurant and I have no appetite, which was referencing Michelin restaurant is game 7. And now I've lost my appetite because the Halliburton news was so upsetting. And you look at the responses and people are like, oh, it must be so nice to be rich. And they're not being sarcastic. They're like, you're so out of touch. I'm like, you're an idiot. You people read shit so literally. I'm like, no wonder you believe everything you read on here and your brains are broken. What happened to reading comprehension? Because in school, now the kids are using ChatGPT to do all their tests. Did you see that shit in the New York Times? They're taking like brain scans of kids and they don't have the same, like, their brains aren't working the same way that older generations are because they're not critically thinking about anything. They just have these assistants, virtual digital assistants to solve every problem in their lives. I will not be bringing a child into this, not into this world. Hell no, at least on purpose. Oh, Drew, I appreciate you. Deserve a raise. Hardest working millennials in the game. You too. No, let's see. I'm sure Taylor wouldn't mind. I tried to get her for a remake of. It wasn't going to be called Buckets. It was going to be on. It was going to be on Sports Grid, which has like crazy distribution. Believe it or not, Sports Grid's like a streaming app. It's on TVs like everywhere you go. Sports Grid. We were going to do a show, and it was during COVID, so it was going to have to be done digitally. But it was going to be like a Buckets type of show with Taylor. But Turner, unfortunately, just axed it because they wanted her doing. They're just so protective of their talent at the time. They wouldn't let her do it. Big dumper. God, draft Twitter is just such a. I don't know any of these people in draft Twitter. Like they spend all year getting ready for the NBA draft. Like they have their guides and their. I don't even know. I'm gonna see how many people I can identify. Because unless they went to Carolina, I really don't know. Let's see. VJ Edgecombe. I know who Ace Bailey is. He went to Rutgers. Con Knuppel went to Duke. Okay, who else? Malawak. How is he not like a top pick? Dude, he should be like, I don't know enough about Ron Harper and I haven't watched Ace Bailey play. How on earth are you passing on Malawak? That kid is phenomenal. He is gargantuan. I would love to. If he's going to go top 5, isn't he? He's plus 300 to go in the top 5. Man, listen, I'm taking it out of principle, and I don't even like Duke. Here's $5 donation. I'm taking Malawak in the top 5. All right, sorry about that. Everyone, oh, okay. Helwick, I do think you guys will get it. I thought Houston might be in the Giannis market after trading for Durant. I thought until I saw the news that they're going to be declining Fred VanVleet, because if he opts in, that would have been the perfect salary cap filler. Perfect. But San Antonio is going to do this thing, I think, where they start off the season. They're going to let Milwaukee drown in barely being 500. They're going to be like the 7th place team. They're terrible. No Dame. Connaughton just opted in. Brook Lopez might leave in free agency. Like, everyone's going to watch the Bucks play and be like, this is a first round out, guaranteed. And Giannis is going to know it. And then something's going to happen where he says something to the press, and then he's the next disgruntled star. And then San Antonio's like, we're back. And they can offer the world. They can match the salary, help with Harrison Barnes. Then they send Vassell and Steph Castle and picks, and you bring in Giannis with De'Aaron Fox and Wembanyama, and you're instantly the favorites in the West. Yeah. Old Hickory says, people misread my tweet bad. I feel for it. This happens on every tweet. Every time I try and be facetious, there's like 50 comments of people that take it literally. Like, I hate this guy. This guy sucks so much. I'm like, do you people, because your people are reading the tweet literally. There's no font. There's no like, I don't want to have to point to it and be like, this is sarcastic. I don't, that's the way I've tweeted for 15 years. Just because you're new and you take everything surface level, that is not a healthy. You need to get off the internet. And those people are the ones that are stuck on the internet because they're so addicted to doom scrolling. Kids use Chat GPT for everything, man. Everything. They tell Chat GPT to like get their groceries for them. Oh God, I wish I was a boomer. In actual, I like cosplaying as a boomer, but I wish I was an actual boomer. We will not be bringing a child into this world, at least not on purpose. A couple near misses. Draft Express and Sam Vicini with the Game Theory podcast. Man, I can't. I need my content Chat GPT for me. I need my content in snack size. I just have no. As soon as this season ends, like, you will not be hearing. I will not be doing basketball related stuff. I did enjoy this season. The playoffs was tremendous, and working so many hours from like the beginning of April hits, and I just wake up that first day knowing what's that first Saturday of the playoffs where there's 4 games, and I'm doing the post game show every night, and 3-hour radio show, these shows, Bleacher Report streams. It's just nonstop, and you have to be so plugged in so that you can talk about all these different topics when you're covering the NBA nationally. It's different if you're just a reporter for a specific team. It's a lot easier to just compartmentalize what happens and focus. But when you're dealing with all these different teams, you need to be able to speak as if you're an expert on each of them. Otherwise, these markets are gonna identify that you don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a former player. I'm not I'm not a former coach. I've worked in the NBA before, but the only the only thing that differentiates me is I'm paying attention more than, or at least the reputation of paying attention as much, if not more than anybody else, being able to eloquently articulate some of these points and bring in someone and have a on air dynamic and relationship with someone who can either support those hypotheses or shut them down is how how the job was formed and created out of thin air. I played varsity basketball. I didn't play at Carolina, so Malawak had 0 rebounds against Houston. It was a huge red flag. I remember that game. Yeah, he got a little soft down there, but if you can't see that kid's potential, I'm so glad he's a one and done at Duke. Get him out of there. Did I see the video of the UCLA graduate flexing Chat GPT? What do you mean? The Braves and Mets play again? Ugh. We just got fucking swept. It's always the Braves. Playing the Braves is so annoying. White Nose says, I used Chat GPT for player props for a week straight and lost every time. It still needs some work. People are going to be using this for gambling recommendations? Oh my God. Doomed. Damn, Drew, you got your Twitter lists fine-tuned perfectly. I follow about 350 people. Half of them are from the community. Half of them are a little less than the other half are like news channel networks. I just don't have an appetite. People always ask me, do I listen to this podcast? I'm like, I just don't have time nor desire. I'm not a podcast content consumer unless it's like a World War II documentary or a show on Apple TV or like a legacy network show. I watch a ton of content, but it's like TV shows, not creator stuff. Did you actually believe, Bart, I was at a Michelin restaurant watching Game 7 of the finals? Yes. Game 7. I'm going to sit here, no TVs in a Michelin restaurant. I'm going to be overpaying. I'm going to pay $600 for a little squirt of goo that's chicken and something so I can miss the NBA finals. It is always the Braves. They've been a thorn in my side my entire life, like Reggie Miller. All right. What time did we start? 3:30. It's now 4:15. I think my baseball bets are starting soon. Any final questions, comments, concerns? So this worked out perfectly. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or at least Monday, Wednesday. So Wednesday's the draft. What are we going to do? A show on Friday? We did an emergency show yesterday. When I go to summer league or the season starts, it doesn't affect your job. If you don't know the incoming rookie class, you kind of learn them over time. Yeah. Like once we get through the finals, I'll start paying attention to once they get drafted and they're at summer league, then I'll be up to speed after I see them. Or I go to like a pro day. I've done it with Clutch in the past, and you watch them in person. Yeah, because I haven't watched enough college and international basketball to be able to. I can lie. easily. That's what plenty of people do that have these jobs. They're just better at lying that you don't pick up on it, or they're just stealing other people's work, but they don't actually know themselves. But I'll gather that, and that's why I go to Summer League, so can see some of these guys in person, and then you can start formulating opinions from there. But it's difficult to like predict how they're going to fit in before you see a single game with the starters, right? Like Reed Shepard was God at Summer League. God. Can't even crack the rotation. Can you imagine getting drafted by OKC right now? You're never going to see the floor. you better get ready to learn Tulsa, buddy, or wherever their G League affiliate is. Sioux Falls, Cedar Rapids. Get ready to learn Cedar Rapids, buddy. Do I know the schedule as far as when NBC will have NBA games? Well, the first opening night, I assume, is Tuesday. It could change, but traditionally it's been a Tuesday, and NBC has Tuesdays. So I think the next time that we see a regular season NBA game, it will be on NBC. Hopefully, I'm in that creative room cooking. For example, my first act as president, score bug, gone. Remember the days in the 90s when they would take the score bug off the screen and just flash it between after buckets? We're going to have a clean palette. We're going to bring back the monologues. There was a method to my madness in creating that Game 7 hype video. Maybe someone at NBC will see it and recognize that's what they need to implement. Dodgers, I go to like one Dodger game a year. It's just so far from me. I got to be really bored. NBC is Tuesdays and Sundays, I think. Scorebug is most definitely not a must. Scorebug will be off my screen the moment I get the chance. The game is so beautiful without a scorebug on there. It's just feels like you're watching a documentary. It's so pure. And you flash it on every time that there's a stoppage. You're not getting rid of it completely. You'll get to learn this nostalgia. It will be the 90s. I am that make a political analogy. There's always that candidate that's like the it's not a right or a left thing, but the standard bearer of traditional times. That will be me. I will be pitching that. So if you hire me, you know what's going to happen next. That's the direction you want to go. I'm your man to execute that vision. If you're looking for a new age, more, I don't want to use terminology, political terminology. If you're looking for, like Amazon's going to be very technologically advanced. They're going to have the, because of AWS with ClipperVision, if you watch ClipperVision, they have like little percentages above the players' heads at all times. They tell you as they run around the courts, and they tell you like what their field goal percentage is depending on where they are, and they're pulling data from numbers. What's that's not Second Spectrum. It's from whatever the company that they partner with, and they have all this like flashing graphics and everything. My screen is just going to be National Geographic of basketball. Yeah. But if that's not the direction they want to go, then don't hire me. I'm your nostalgia guy that can execute the vision for you. The monologues, the setup, the game feel. You even if you weren't alive in the 90s, you will get an education very quickly on why it was so popular, NBC's style of game presentation. And I will make sure that the gods, the old gods, will be remembered, the old ways. Like when the Vikings tried to keep Valhalla alive. No score bug. Sorry. Round ball rock. We're not changing round ball rock. I don't want it. I don't want it a new remade edition of it. We're going with the version from the 90s. No score bug. The NBC branded suits and blazers for sure. Those were phenomenal. Yeah, there's a lot of ways. And then you got Noah Eagle and Tarico. Yeah, those are good voices for. Oh, I forgot to. Yeah, you want to. Here's a Boomer Wob story. So before tennis today, we have these very strange birds, ducks that are living in this like protected tree that no one can cut down or harm or do anything. And one of the birds very clearly had a wing problem. For whatever reason, it had fallen onto the tennis court, or it had gotten into the tennis court. It's just a normal chill bird, but it knew the door. It knew that the door to the tennis court opened and closed. So like, I was thinking, do I pick this thing up? Do I like get it to fly? Because it was trying to flap its wings, but it couldn't elevate. And then I walk over to the door in the corner of the tennis court and I open it and it just walks right past me. It looks right up and it's like, "Rah, rah." I couldn't believe it. Like, you know how long it takes to train a dog about doggy doors and stuff? And this bird just followed me right to the door and walked right out, and it waddled and it just kept going about its day. It was very funny. Won't getting rid of the score bug be a loss of ad real estate? No. YouTube TV was in the score bug for ABC at the very bottom, but I don't know if that applies to NBC as well. Stop. Helwick, you might get banned. Round ball rock is not a good. Talking about the consensus best theme in sports. It might even be more recognizable than UEFA Champions League anthem worldwide. You're talking about the most. Don't be the zigzagger. Don't be the. Just find a reason to hate something. To be that person that there always has to be one. This is not the fight. Round ball rock is certified. No, oh my God. This is why NBC needs to take over. NBA on TNT and ESPN themes clear. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. Not even close. Even the CBS, and I would put the CBS NBA theme from the 80s. That one was good, but it's round ball rock. And then it's like the second tier of theme is NFL, Fox NFL Sunday, Monday Night Football, the old MLB on Fox theme. Dun, 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 dun. That was a good one. But yeah, they're all second place, distant second place to round ball rock, which will make its valiant return. We're not going to touch it. Yeah. On that note, before I get angry about the NBC brand, should we sign off? Say goodbye. I think I just lost my iPad. That's unfortunate. All right, people. See, someone just said Mike Breen is one of the most overrated play-by-play guys ever. And now you're just saying things to solicit a reaction from me, the two of you. You're just trying to get me mad. On that note, before the comment section cannibalizes itself, I'm going to sign off, go make some dinner, go watch some baseball, and pray for a police chase. Till next time, my friends, it's been a pleasure. I'll be back with you on Wednesday, and then we'll figure out what to do from there. Adios.